Hello, campers. I'm Mr. Gunn. About a year or so ago, I was trying to come up with a way to have better looking railings for some of my camp patios and porches. Then I saw a video where someone was able to take a half glass wall and work it into the foundations in such a way that it produced a really remarkable railing, just like the ones you see here in these pictures. And oh boy, what a game changer that was. Finally, I was able to get some of my camps that had high porches and patio overlooks a unique and beautiful glass railing that didn't impede the viewing even while sitting down. This made a huge difference in the appearance of my camp and was always met with compliments from my visitors. But here's the best part. This technique works with any of the half walls in Fallout 76, not just the glass ones. So if you don't have the glass walls or would prefer a different style of railing, you can use any of the half walls in the game and achieve these amazing results for your camp. And we'll look at a few examples of those as well. So let's dive in and go over these very easy steps for your custom railings. All right, we're going to use these three foundations to demonstrate this technique. And these are going to be, we'll say, a porch or a patio that you have at your camp or that you're going to add on to your camp. So the first step that we have to do, and we're going to do this in 6 steps. So the first step that we have to do is we have to set up our placeholder foundations. There's going to be two of them that we're going to need for this. So I'm going to go into my floors here. And I'm going to grab this guy and I'm going to set him right there. We'll call him placeholder number 1. Now he's going to be lowered, and when we lower him, we want to lower him so we can lower these other foundations temporarily to the same height that he is. So that's why we need this particular placeholder. Now we can't lower this guy as long as there's other foundations attached to him. So I'm going to move this guy out of the way, this foundation. I'm going to move him over here. And we're going to call him placeholder number 2. And he's going to remain at this height. We're not going to lower him. So when we lower these guys temporarily, when we bring them back up, I want to bring them back up to their original height. And that's what placeholder number 2 is going to do for us. Step 2, we're going to lower our placeholder foundation, and we're going to lower our placeholder foundation about 2 of these cinder block rows from the top. As you can see here, we're going to lower it down about 2 of the cinder block rows from the top. If you have a wooden foundation, you're going to lower it until it's down about level at the bottom of the lattice that surrounds the top part of the wooden foundation, as you can see here. Now that technique I just did where I was able to hold down my E key on the PC and use my mouse wheel to scroll this down nice and smooth, it was a technique that I learned from another YouTuber by the name of Darth Zion. And he has a terrific video out there called How to Smoothly Raise and Lower Foundations. And I'll put a link to that video down in the description. Not only does it cover PC, he goes over how to do it with Xbox and PlayStation as well. Strongly recommend you take a look at that to get the same results I just got here. For step 3, we're going to need to lower our foundations down to the placeholder number 1's height. And to do that, we're going to need to add another foundation back in here where we pulled the other one out earlier. So we'll put him in here, and he's going to be at the same height as placeholder number 1. And we'll bring these guys down to the placeholder number 1 level as well. Placeholder number 2 remains at that height. We're going to need him there when we raise these guys back up after we attach the half walls. At this stage of step 3, we're now ready to go ahead and add our half walls. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into our menu and we're going to grab one of our half walls. Now, the only half walls we can use are the warehouse walls, barn walls, or the contemporary walls. We can only use walls that allow foundations to snap through them. Now, we'll change it over later to whatever wall we want, such as our glass walls, but only one of these 3 will work at this particular point here. So I'm going to go down and grab my, I'll just grab the barn half wall and I'll put that in here. So again, barn wall, warehouse wall, or contemporary wall, we have to use one of those for this stage here. Step 4 is going to require us to take our flamethrower trap and burn out the walls. The flamethrower trap can be found under turrets and traps, and it is not an item that you can purchase at a vendor or get in the atomic shop. If you don't have the flamethrower trap, you can obtain it by doing the coming to fruition quest or have a friend come by who has the flamethrower trap and do a direct team with them, and they can drop you the flamethrower trap for you to use. And you can keep using it over and over again as long as you store it and not scrap it. So we're going to go ahead and take out the walls. All right, now that we have our walls burned out with our flamethrower trap, we're now ready to move on to step 5. And step 5 is going to require us to raise our foundations back up to their original height using our placeholder number 2 foundation as the height guide. There we go. Snap back up to there. Snap this one back up to there. And with our foundations now pulled back up to their original height, we're now ready to move on to step 6, and that's going to be the repair of the walls and to replace them with our glass walls. Now you're seeing that free thing come up on my screen here because I am doing this over in custom worlds. So I have it set so that it doesn't require any material. A great spot to do these kind of demos there. And now we're on to the final part of step 6, and that is to replace our walls with our preferred wall. In this case here, we're going to use the glass walls. Just going to use the replace feature. See the walls coming in beautifully here. There we go. We've got our glass walls in place. We can go ahead and get rid of our placeholder foundation. We're not going to need that anymore. Well as our other placeholder foundation, or keep it in place in case you're going to use it as a part of your build going forward. You'll notice here on the bottom of the glass here, you'll see that metal rail running around. That's the top pane part of the half wall. And that's why it was important that we lowered our placeholder 1 foundation down to that certain height, those 2 cinder blocks down from the top of the one that it was adjacent to, because that'll assure that we get this at the right height when we bring it into this part here. If we had it any lower, that metal band that you see down here in the bottom would actually not be shown. It just look like glass coming out of the foundation. So this gives it a really good look, and it's going to be a wonderful look for your build as well. Now, an option you can do after step 6 is take walls and cover your foundation with it. As you can see here, the half wall glass walls are clipping a little bit through the foundation, and they will do that. Now, if the foundation is facing in a direction where nobody can see it, such like at the edge of a cliff or something like that, it's not a big deal. But if you want to dress these up, look a little bit nicer, particularly if they're viewable from this side in your camp, we can do that quite easily. And what we're going to do is we're going to grab one of our catwalks out of the miscellaneous structure menu here. And these catwalks are available in the Atomic Shop. They were part of a bundle at one time. I don't know if they still are. And if you don't have the catwalk, you can turn in a support ticket to Bethesda. They will tell you how many atoms it's going to take to get the catwalk, and then they'll take the atoms and put the catwalk into your inventory for you. The catwalks are a valuable tool to have if you're doing any kind of camp building in a serious node such as this here. We're going to have many other examples later on about how the catwalks are used in camp building, and what I'm going to show you here is just one of those examples. So we got our catwalk attached. We're going to go down and grab a wall, the Brotherhood of Steel metal wall, because I like the metal edges on it. It matches better with the glass half walls. And we'll just keep moving this on down the line, just like I'm doing here. Now that we have our walls attached to our foundations, all we have to do now is go into our menu, highlight the wall, and pick out a wallpaper we want for it. I'm a big fan of the black brick myself for these types of builds, so I'll just grab the black brick here. Go. And we just continue this all the way on down. There it is. Very easy steps there, but boy, what a difference that's going to make to your build using this technique to attach walls to your foundations. And here are a few examples of how other half walls can be made into very attractive railings. Like I said earlier, if you don't have the glass wall set, you can use other half walls to make beautiful railings for your camp. And man, do these look great. So there we have it, 6 easy steps on how you can take half walls and customize them into railings for your camp build. And boy, is it going to make a difference. I'm Mr. Gunn. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next episode.